Yeah, I was thinking about like a used like MacBook Air like this or something like that. Like you can find them for like $200-$300, and like two of those wouldn't be bad.
Yeah. School of Medicine and Facebook Live event. Current student Franco Grant at Saba University is also the SGA President. He resides from Riverside, Connecticut. Originally a business major, Grant did some impressive internships, but he changed his focus junior year on care for the whole person. Business degree, and he decided to change tracks of medicine. He did Georgetown, and he's now at Saba University to help inform others about first question is kind of a simple decision to attend Saba.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going, guys? So I think so the key factors for me in coming to Saba were, I think the first thing for me was like what I looked at when I looked at the school. I kind of wanted to look at where people were matching in residency, and I wanted to make sure that people were kind of make sure that if I went to Saba, I could get to where I wanted to go. So that was kind of like the first thing I looked at. And also the really big thing for me was I was kind of at an inflection point in my life where I wasn't really, it was either now or never really to go to medical school. And when I was accepted to Saba, like I could go and basically 2 months after I was accepted, and that kind of fast turnaround was really important for me, because I don't think I would have actually done medicine if I hadn't come like right when I came, and waiting 18 months wasn't really an option. So those two things were really kind of important kind of key factors for me deciding to come to Saba.
Yeah, med school right now, it's a stressful. A little bit about any tips that you might have, and what worked for you, what was.
Yeah. So I guess like tips for applying. I'd say the first thing for me, I applied twice, and the first time I wasn't really ready with all my my materials and my applications and all that kind of stuff, and not being ready with all that stuff was so stressful and insane. So like the next time I did it, I was much more on top of it, and that was actually a much smoother process. And also like I would say like, but the second time I did it, I also had like this kind of like lingering thing. I was like, I'd kind of become disillusioned with the idea of going to medical school. So like, I think for me, like being certain that this was the right path, actually, like being really sure that I want to be a doctor makes it all kind of worth it, you know? And it makes the kind of all the seemingly unnecessary work seem like it's worthwhile. Yeah.
Obviously, I just kind of describe it for us. Activities to eat, places, what it's like to be,
yeah. So Saba is a really interesting island. It's like pretty small. Like I kind of came from a suburb of New York City, and so the island was definitely small. But like it's actually really nice because it's kind of like there's definitely a communal feel where everyone's kind of in it together. It's a really safe island, and it's like super clean, and it has like all of and it's really kind of like a tight-knit community. That being said, the island is like gorgeous. I came here and I love to hike. I like to go outside, and I've always been an active person, so I was hiking around Saba, and I always thought it was like super beautiful. There's big cliffs like coming out of the water and stuff. But I actually over break I just got my eyes rechecked, and I was like a whole like diopter off in my when I had my eyes tested. So now like I actually see the island like for real, and it's like, oh my god, this place is outrageous. So I really the island's really fantastic. It's a really good place to study because it's so small and quiet. Like I go home and I hear like the highway, and it's like, oh my God, why is it so loud here? But all that being said, you also asked about places to eat. My favorite place to eat is there's a place called Long Haul, like Rail, that has like really good pizza. And I like spent most of my undergrad. I did undergrad, as you said, in DC. I was at Georgetown, and DC has like the worst pizza like imaginable. It's insane. And so when I came home, I like went on like a year-long pizza binge. And now that when I came here, I was like worried I wasn't gonna be able to eat any pizza. So Long Haul actually has like really good pizza. So I actually can kind of get that in my life, which I like a lot. So
my feeling, I'm a happy guy. So, talk to me a little bit about your daily. A lot of students would be kind of interested in what it's. If you can kind of give us some description on.
Yeah. So I guess my daily schedule is, so like class starts at 8. And so I have class until lunch, and then you have an hour for lunch, and then you have class usually after. It kind of depends on the day and where you are in the semester, because you take a lot of different classes. But so all that being said, my day actually starts much earlier than 8, because I kind of found a schedule that kind of works for me. I usually wake up between like 3:45 and 4:15, and I try to study for 2 to 3 hours before school starts, because that's when I'm most focused. So I kind of like to get my work done then. And so then I go to school. I take the bus to school, and so then I just go to school, and I in class, like sometimes you have labs, and like there's a lot of different stuff that happens during the day, but there's obviously a lot of lecture. But yeah, and then after school, I usually try to exercise or eat, so I don't like fall apart physically. Yeah.
Great. Again, obviously in mid school, obviously an important aspect of study habits and skills.
So yeah, so like I guess some like study habits that I guess the biggest thing I learned being here, it's like you got to find out what works for you. So there's a lot of different ways to study. But I would say the one thing that I know works almost universally is studying every day. Usually works really well for people. Like it's something I kind of wasn't used to like from undergrad, because I was always kind of a conceptual person, and I always kind of like got things, and I'd kind of just do problems and things would work out. But then once I got here, it's like a lot of memorization, and so you're kind of forced to really just like learn like new terms, definitions, like what things are, and so like there's so much memorization that like studying every day became like basically something that all the successful students do here. So I'd say that's kind of the biggest thing. Like even like I would say like it seems like not that much, but 2 to 3 hours outside of class every single day is actually like studying a lot, and you're learning a lot if you do that. So I'd say that. And then like my technique, I guess, is I kind of use like, I kind of have like my brain isn't as pliable as it used to be. So I kind of have to use like the spaced repetition type stuff to kind of like pound stuff in my brain. But, yeah.
That's great. Talk to us a little bit about the curriculum first semester, and that transition aspect to especially a lot of students who are starting that, how this is going to be from what they've been doing and what the curriculum's like, and
yeah, so like the first semester curriculum's like a little different. It kind of, well, you like kind of need to lay some foundations, like foundational knowledge before you can, like the curriculum here is kind of set up, it's system based. So you learn about like a system at a time. But in first semester, you learn about all the kind of you learn anatomy basically and histology. And like histology is like study of tissues. So it's like, what does like your liver tissue look like? And what is your, neurons look like, and that kind of stuff. And so like learning about that stuff and the functions is obviously so important, and also learning anatomy, like what muscle moves this there, like, so those kind of things. That's kind of what you learn in first semester. And now where I'm at, I'm in fourth semester, so I'm learning like I'm kind of diving more deeper into the systems and like diseases with the system. So I'm doing like endocrinology right now. Yeah, so I mean the curriculum is great because it kind of like you lay a foundation and dive in deeper, and obviously this stuff is preparing you pretty well for step one. It's designed to prepare you for step one. So that's, you definitely feel that coming.
There's the classroom itself, but there's also the hands, the anatomy of patients. Can you talk a little bit about what you do with it and
so like anatomy is it's like kind of the first like big, like both your two first semester classes are both hard, but anatomy is like hard, and it's like it's definitely kind of like your introduction to med school. So like how it goes is that you kind of start off, your day, you have 2 hours of lecture, you learn about whatever thing you're learning about. Like you just kind of, I think you start off with the lower limbs right now, and so you'll like learn about like the muscles, like your quadriceps muscles and all those kind of things, and so you'll or like in your upper arm you'll learn about your forearm, and so those kind of stuff. So you'll do that. You'll learn about that in lecture, and then later in the day you'll go to lab. And so there's a cadaver lab, and there's 7 cadavers, and you have a number of students on each one, and all the professors are surgeons, so they're there, and you dissect the cadaver. You dissect basically what you lectured that afternoon, and it's actually really cool. For me, I actually found it very cool. It's not like class, like going. It was kind of oddly more fun, I guess, but it was cool because you dissect things out, and like you would see like the muscle that you just learned about, and you could actually pull on it, and then it would pull on your pinky and stuff, and it's like seeing the kind of functions in person was super helpful for me. And I also kind of thought it was fun, and it was a good way to get to know the professors, because the anatomy professors are just awesome. So yeah.
How does the Saba curriculum, basically step one is kind of a little bit about kind of what that is?
Yeah. So like obviously like every med school, you learn like the information for step one. I would say like really the benefit of coming here is not really in like what's taught. It's more in like the kind of work ethic and how efficient you become as a worker while you're here. For me and basically all of my friends here, we've kind of like leveled up, almost exponentially in how efficiently we approach material, and how we know we study, and all those kind of things. We really know how we work, and we're kind of our best selves when it comes to studying. And so I think that's kind of like the real benefit to being here. And so like when we come off and we have like our kind of dedicated time to study for step one, it's like I know how to attack that time, and I know I'm gonna do well because of how I performed in the past, and I know how to study and all those kind of things. Obviously, I have professors that kind of like tell you what's going to be important, and there's a lot of different different ways to get that. But I would say kind of the way the curriculum is set up and how it pushes its students, I think, is really the best part about here.
It's funny too, and that's one of the things that's having access to Professor Saba a little bit different. Can you tell us a bit about, how accessible are they? You in kind of doing.
Yeah. So like all your professors are rather accessible. Like you have they all have office hours like every day, and they're usually like they're just like in their room, so you can just kind of walk over to the offices, so it's like it's not very hard to get in touch with your professors. There's a lot of professors that are super available on email, like my last semester I had this like my systems and disease professor. Actually, the course director was like the most available professor I've ever had. You'd send him like an email at like Sunday at like 11 p.m. and he responds to you in like 3 minutes. It's amazing. So you have like there's a lot of professors that are super available over email, not that they're like not available to see in person, but like sometimes you have questions when they're not there. So the professors are available. Like professors are great. Like we have a lot of professors that are physicians, and so that's kind of good for us because we can kind of the professors will be like, well, this will be on step 1, but then there's also like this is really important for your life as a physician, and that's kind of like you care about both because they're both important. Like how anyway. So yeah.
Coming into med school, I'm concerned about kind of what that would be like. What worried you the most about starting med school?
Yeah, so I guess what worried me the most about starting medical school, I know a lot of people are like scared of failing, and that's not really, like I actually think rather highly of my own intelligence and my own capability, so I wasn't really scared of like failing. I was actually much more worried about this being the wrong path for me, because I'd kind of spent a long time trying to get into medical school, and it hadn't really happened, and I was very unsure if it was the right decision for me. So when I got here, I kind of like working through that. Like just when I got here, I was just like I just couldn't believe I was here. And then once I got into the studying, it was like, oh, this is like I'm in the right place, and I'm really grateful for that because like I'm almost 30, and so a lot of my friends are kind of in their like, I guess like quarter life crises or whatever. Like I'm in the wrong career, blah blah blah, and it's really actually this amazing feeling to be like, oh my god, I'm sure I'm on the right path, even though it's not, like it's just starting, but I'm sure that this is the right path for me right now. So like it's a great feeling for me, and so I kind of got over that thought of like, is this the right thing? It's like, I'm pretty sure it is. So yeah.
Now that you've applied and started med school, tell me how it feels. Is it what you expected?
Yeah, I mean, like it is and it isn't. Like I remember my first semester here, I was like, I can't believe I'm here. Like this is unbelievable. Like I'd go on a hike and I'd be like, I'm in the Caribbean and I'm at this school and I don't know like how this happened, but I'm here. But that kind of progressively started like, I started having those thoughts less and less. It just kind of it feels right, I guess, like it's just really cool. It's really cool to be like I said in the last question, to be like on a path like that I know is right for me, and working towards like a career where I get to help people and kind of have information that not everybody has. It's really amazing. It's obviously hard work, and I feel like I'm becoming my best self like I did before. Like I work at like it's funny where a lot of times I'll tell first semester students that are here, I'll be like, you're gonna get better at studying. When you I'm so much of I'm like a much better worker than I was when I came here, and like so I'm really grateful for that kind of stuff too. Like I'm growing here, and that's not really something for me. You can't really replace that. You can learn this information anywhere, but like growth is kind of more important for me, I guess.
Yep, I agree. Saba, SGA President, can you tell us a little bit about how Saba?
Yeah. So like I've always been kind of like a borderline like way too involved in everything kind of person. So like hence that's why I'm like involved in SGA. But like at the SABA's cool because it's basically like there's no applications or anything like that. It's just like you get to participate in stuff at like as much as you want to, and there's definitely opportunities to like there's a lot of different like clubs on campus for like specialties in medicine. There's like emergency medicine club, there's a primary care physician club, and then there's a surgery club, and I was in the surgery club for a little bit, but the primary care physician club actually does a really cool thing where they run like a diabetic foot clinic because there's diabetes is like a pretty big issue on the island for the locals, and so they kind of and you get this when you have diabetes, you get this rather nasty necrosis on your feet, and so there's a foot clinic where they go and they check on the diabetic patients and kind of help with that, and it's a really awesome way to get involved in the island. There's a lot of different stuff. There's also like a lot of clubs. Some of the most active clubs on the campus are actually the religious clubs. There's like a Muslim Students Association, a Christian Students Association, South Asian Students Association. Like those are really active groups that do big events every semester and every year. So there's definitely like tons of ways to be involved and also get involved off campus. Like a lot of the clubs do, like the emergency medicine club did like this mock disaster thing because obviously we're in the Caribbean and there's, storms that come sometimes. And so they kind of the emergency medicine club teamed up with the Dutch Marines and then they ran this mock disaster event. It's super cool. And then there's like, one of the anatomy professors was telling people how to manage kind of like trauma, like in a disaster. It's like there's like super cool stuff that our clubs do on and off campus. So, yeah.
What have you enjoyed most about your time at Saba?
I would like definitely for me, like the stuff I've enjoyed the most is like the friends I made on here. Like it sounds super corny, but like, it's like totally the truth. Like I, the people that you're here with and you stay here with, and you kind of feel like you've been through a lot. Like it's obviously not an easy place to be. It's medical school. It's stressful. It's hard work, and so you kind of really rely on each other. Well, I really rely on my classmates a lot, and we all kind of rely on each other, and so those relationships have been super important for me. Like last semester, it really kind of dawned on me how much I cared for like my fellow classmates. So it was like last semester when we had Thanksgiving. Obviously, there's a lot of Canadians here, but I'm American, so we did American Thanksgiving, and it was like 15 of like the people that started my class, and I was like, oh my god, I love these people, and so like those kind of those things are really the best part about being here, and a lot of them aren't like really even like people I would have met outside of here, but they're people that like have supported me and care for me, and I've cared for them, and it's really an awesome experience, I'd say.
We actually have a couple of questions. Can we?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
In terms of our viewers who are kind of watching here, what semester did you start, Grant?
I started in the January 2018 semester.
Okay, great.
So, yeah.
And they're asking about the summer. So in other words,
yeah,
semesters through. So you can talk a little bit about the break weeks in between the semesters.
Yeah. So
it's on the island, but get a feel about what what the movement is back and forth.
Yeah. So like the breaks. Well, I usually go home. Like some people stay on the island, but I usually go home for the two breaks are 2 weeks, and then you have a 3-week break for Christmas. So we just had a 3-week break. And in August and in April, we're gonna have a 2-week break, kind of like a spring break type thing. And it's a nice time to recharge. It's like super necessary and awesome. Usually, like a lot of times when we leave the island or come to the island, we'll like kind of all get together on St. Martin and hang out for a day or two, just to kind of like have like a Caribbean life, because it's obviously not like vacation here, because we're like studying all the time, but like it's nice to have it feel like a vacation, sometimes, so we usually try to do something like that.
I think a couple of people kind of asked this, but why Saba? Why did you choose Saba over some of the other schools that you applied?
Well, well, like I kind of said, it was a now or never thing. I was kind of facing a decision between two schools, two pretty highly, like the two of the top Caribbean schools, and I picked Saba really because of the matches. Like I thought, and then when I got here, I found out, I read our 2018 matches, and they're like amazing. Like people were going to really, really competitive residencies, and I was really impressed by that. So that was a big thing for me, and they were, they accepted me right away. I got, I interviewed and I was accepted rather quickly, and it was just like I'm ready to do this. Let's go type thing. So I don't know. It's also like I'm kind of like it seems right. I'm a feeler. I'm a in the Myers-Briggs, I'm a feeler. So like I get an F. So it felt right. So I came.
That's fine. I'm just seeing if we've got. I guess maybe as a wrap-up question.
Okay.
Do you want students who are looking at Saba right now to know? You've obviously had 4 semesters here. Talk to us about.
Yeah, I guess what I would want students to know, it would be, like this is a place where, if you're ready to be pushed, this is a place to come. You will grow. You will become better. You will. Like I'm so sure now that I'm gonna do well in step 1. I'm so sure I'm gonna do well in my rotations. Like I know I've kind of built a foundation that will work when I go there. So all that being said, it's like if you're ready to do this, then this is a good place to come. If you're not ready, I don't know, but I feel like this was a amazing decision for me. So, yeah.
Great. You've given us some time. I think you've given some great insight. Hopefully I've answered most of the questions. Other questions, please feel free to contact me. My name is Bill Purnell. I host at admissions at saba.edu. And if there's anything we can do to help, just kind of let us know. Again, Grant, your insight in this, and continue to do well in your studies. You've been everything that you've done for us at Saba. So have a great one.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.